We are live on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Let's see, I want to mute that one. And I'm going to let Jeff in. So before we get everybody in here and get started, just know that we're live on Facebook. This will be being recorded. It will be uploaded to YouTube later. And we welcome everybody. So Jeannie and I were just chit-chatting a little bit. I'm very excited to be exploring time, future time today. So pretty exciting stuff.
I love that. That's my favorite subject. You know that, I think.
So, hey, Jeff, tell me this. Jeannie and I were chit-chatting, and I thought Seth said 2075, and she thought he said 2060. What was the year?
Of what?
The year that he said all this was going to be over with, the way we're living now. He predicted by 2075, that everything would be done and over with. And
I don't recall. Now that you say it, I remember reading about it. Did you punch it into Finding Seth?
I didn't yet, because I really thought I knew the date. So we'll check that out. Let me just find us on Facebook so I can start the monitoring. Let's see. Oh God, I'm doing a different setup today, so everything's always a little wonky. And I'm using Firefox instead of my normal Safari. So how you doing, Jeff?
Good.
I don't know if you know Jeannie Fry or not, but she is a good friend of the Seth House.
Hi, Jeannie. I'm putting something a little less distracting on my.
Oh, you were fine.
Background. Yeah, but it throws me off. How you doing?
I'm great. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So Jeff is from California. I'm in New York. Where are you from, Jeannie?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I've often thought about this. How the Seth House Corporation began was Oshar and I were living and renting 1A. And, the whole building was full of people that didn't know anything about Seth. And we woke up one Saturday morning. It was December 27th, I do believe, 4 years ago. And on Facebook, we saw a picture of our bedroom and then upstairs, which would have been Jane and Rob's apartment. And the person was from Brooklyn and said that they were there at the house. They took pictures and there was a scary man out front.
That was me.
Oh my God. You are the reason that we did this. Oh my God, this is so amazing.
I made my boyfriend drive me up there. I was like, I've always wanted to we were also looking for the Hill House, which we found.
Oh,
but when we first found the Seth House, we asked a man that was standing out front, did he know anything about Jane Roberts? Did he know where the Hill House was? And he thought we were nuts. He was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And who are you? And who are you going to see? What's your name? So he's a little bit slow and he's not there anymore, but he was living in apartment 4. So he was actually living in the second apartment that they rented, which Oshar and I now have control of that one as well. Wow, the sun is I love the sun, but not quite where it's going. Let me fix that. Yeah.
So time is one of my favorite subjects.
Woo.
Time, the manipulation of time. I find it really interesting to have such a fascination because, I find most Sethies have little specialties that they like to delve into. And time is one of mine. It's strange that I find it amusing that it's something that interests me and it really doesn't exist.
Yes. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about how this all happened because Jeannie, I lost that post and I never knew who you were. But when we got up and saw that post and I saw that he scared you and how sad it was that you didn't feel comfortable coming in, I turned around to Oshar and I'm like, you know what? There's no reason that anybody ever has to feel this way again. And I'm like, what do you think? And she goes, let's do it. I'm like, we can do this. And that was the day that we bought the website and we started doing the research. And the corporation didn't form for another year, but that was the night that it was put into the universe. And
Wow.
you were the catalyst. Woohoo! That is so awesome.
I know. And weird.
I love it. So you found the Hill House. That's good. It was revamped by people. They actually tore it all down. So the only thing that's existing from Jane and Rob was the basement. So
okay, because it did have it looked so different than I expected. So it must have been.
So when they lived there, it was just a ranch. It was a small, nice little ranch. They renovated it, made it a 2-story. It is absolutely beautiful right now. But it is really, like I said, except for the basement and the yard and stuff, nothing is left of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
But the house on 458 West Water Street hasn't changed that much. Luckily, the landlord doesn't like to do a lot of work. So it's been painted and painted and painted, which is why we send paint chips out to people. Because they never took anything old away. So all of that energy is all underneath. So that is so, so awesome. Thank you so much. I am so happy you're here.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I do have a mini time story, like Seth related. I didn't start reading the Seth books until I was a late teenager. But when I was very little, I was unhappy. And I don't know why. I came from a really nice family, but we were living in this little house. And I remember just constantly going to be by myself and being brooding, and even as a little child. And so around the time that I was 5 or 6, I went up into the attic to be alone from my family. And I was looking out a window and I had this odd feeling about a girl that was riding a bicycle past, that she was me in the future. And she was so happy. And she looked up at the window and waved to me. And I was like, how can she see me? I'm so small and in the shade, and she's out in the sun. And I always wondered, when I started reading the Seth books, was that just a girl that I wished I could be like in the future? Or was it actually me? And that, like Rob and Jane had the main couple. And so when I was about that age, I made it a point to ride past that house where we didn't live anymore and wave up at the window, even though I couldn't see anything, just in case. I was like, I'm just going to make sure, close that loop.
Right. It could have been a probable self, could have been a future self, a past self, because as we know, time, it doesn't exist, and it's all happening right now.
Yeah.
And we should embrace paradox.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I do believe that it does all come around again. And this is a time in the universe that things are coming around again. Like with every choice we make, I think both choices are actually made. We split off into these other, probable selves, and they live out their life with the choice that you didn't make.
Right.
And I think somewhere in time, they do merge. It may be, just one here and there, or it might be a conglomeration all at one time. So it does sound like you saw one and she gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah, she sort of put me on a different trajectory. Like, oh, well, I could be that. I could be happy. I'm sort of choosing this misery, but I don't know why. I never heard of such a brooding child as I was, or without any good cause.
And that changed things around.
Yeah, it just gave me the idea. You know how whenever you hit a big change in your life, it always comes from something that you think differently.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody changes when things are going great. Nobody. It usually comes when there's conflict or there's choices to make or something like that. Yeah.
And I have found that also things trigger for me to remember things and situations like sounds and smells and just the feeling in the air, the time of the year in the air, and you go into different places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So Seth would say, which you and which now?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure she was so happy to see you too, and I do believe that when we send out good feelings to our probable selves and our past life selves and our future life selves, that comes back to us, because they're doing the same thing. And when we think about them and send them love or compassion or whatever it is we think they need, you can feel that coming back to you.
Yeah.
And remember, it's all going on now.
Right.
It's all simultaneous.
Yes, the point of power.
And you're absolutely connected. I mean, there is no separation between anything, especially your probable selves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so exciting. It's all so exciting. And our Facebook people are very quiet over here. Very quiet.
I'm having a quiet kind of a day today too, kind of a sit back and do nothing day.
Do you have a favorite time story?
No, I like it's not so much stories as working with time and manipulating time and things like that. I've said before, and we've talked about it, that once you get the hang of manipulating time, it can be to your benefit, especially if you're running late for work. You can just couch yourself in a pocket of time and kind of like get there now anyway. You're running 10 minutes late for work. When you get to work and it's all of a sudden you're there on time, that kind of stuff.
Have you done that?
Oh, yeah.
That's neat.
We do it also naturally throughout the course of our day that we don't think about it. But when you stop to think about it, you'll see where that's happened to you probably on numerous occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're busy about something else and you set your mind, I'm going to get to work on time, and then you forget about it. Then because part of the trick is forgetting about it or letting it go after you create it in your mind. Yeah.
Now something.
Try it.
Yeah, something that happened to me, it was very significant, is so I'm a Reiki healer and I'm a hypnotist, and I was working with somebody, and I kept getting this guidance that play your drum, this drum healing, was going to be what I needed to do. And it was back years and years ago, before I knew anything about Seth. And I was very regimented in doing sessions, and they had to last so long, and whatever. I was very heady, and so here I was, and I pulled the drum out, and I start drumming, and I'm doing all this stuff that I'm being guided to do, and then it was like, okay, now finish the session, and I'm like, oh my God, I can never. How am I going to fit everything in? How am I going to do this? And I just really stopped thinking, and I knew that it took 20 minutes to play that drum. And I absolutely finished the session. It was exactly 1 hour. It could never have been. Time just opened up to allow in what that person needed. And I was just like, what happened? Because I was watching the clock. And I actually, oh my God, it was amazing, and now I understand it. I had no idea what happened then. I called my teacher and I'm like, this is so weird. And she's like, timelessness. You just worked in it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So yeah.
The best thing about having other Sethians to talk to is that all those other things that are like, oh, this is so weird, I can't tell anyone, you can actually say out loud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we love it. We say it every Sunday.
Yeah. It's so nice to have other Sethies to talk to. And, getting back onto the time thing especially for people watching online, when I suggested that we do it so naturally all the time, a perfect example that I know everybody can relate to is when you're doing something creative, whether you're a musician or you're an artist, or even whether you're a student and you're studying. you get involved in something and all of a sudden you look up and it's 4 hours later.
Yes.
You know, sometimes gamers get so entrenched in their games, it's like 2 days later.
I am a musician and I know exactly what you mean. Every time I go to band practice, even if I don't want to go, once I get there, time just flies because it's so fun to me.
So you actually kind of couch yourself in a pocket of time in your creative efforts. You're a musician. I would love to ask you, part of your creative mind, do you hook into the music in your mind and then try to play it? Does it just come to you? Or do you kind of like hook into the river of sound type of thing?
Well, I find that I have two different ways of thinking about songwriting. I write sort of pop songs, like punky rock songs. And when I'm thinking about the music, it's such a different way of thinking than thinking about the lyrics and the storytelling. The music's much more feelings. And I didn't study music. So even when I'm talking to my band, I'm the singer. And I'll go in and say, that part that sounds like a downward spiral, could you just try and play that in 2 parts and interrupt it in the middle? And the poor guys have to put up with me because I don't know how to say F major or whatever, you know? But when I'm thinking
you hear it in your mind, right?
I hear it and have a hard time explaining it, and I don't really play an instrument well enough. And then when I'm thinking about the story, I have such a fun time. I sort of will pretend that I'm a character and write the story from that character's point of view. So I get a lot of different kinds of songs, like the songs are all over the map. But I know exactly what you mean about time. Like you inhabit this space, and I guess a lot of people call it, they're in the flow. You know, you're in the flow, everything's going right, and you look up and hours have gone by and you've just been right in the present. And that's why I'm a musician, because I love that feeling and I love storytelling.
It's interesting you should use the term flow, because I think that's exactly what it is. You're getting that flow of energy from your higher self.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How
I
cool
find
is
myself
that?
setting alarms a lot because I get lost in time.
Me too.
Before I was starting this, I started a new art project. I started it last night, but today it just all started coming together for me. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't miss the clock. And, you know, so my art room does not have a clock in it. So I had to set alarms for this.
Is it painting that you do?
Yes, that's a watercolor. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had, this is so strange. I had a vision yesterday. I was sitting right here at this desk, and to my right is where my art studio is. And I could see what looked like this. I know I'm saying this, it sounds really weird. It even sounds weird to me saying it, but it looked like a big ivy leaf, ivy wreath, but a portal. It was like 4 foot, it was huge. But I could see there were definite like ivy leaves. And I'm like, I have to paint this. Like I have to get this on paper. So I've been drawing, you know, the leaves on it. And, you know, I started out like, what does an ivy leaf really look like? You know, and they looked so mechanical. And then all of a sudden they just started coming out easy.
Nice.
So yeah, I know what you mean about being in the flow. Yeah, so that's
like Jane's portal to the library.
Yeah, I'll be jumping right into that when we're done.
So what was inside the center of the portal? Could you see that?
It was actually, I could see through it to the other side of the room. And it's funny, I've always felt like where that is a portal. Like when I would teach Reiki, that's where I would sit, because I would get a lot of guidance and I would get words to give students that I'm like, well, that was really good information. So I've always felt something very significant there, but I've never seen anything. Yesterday it was there, and it was not like transparent. It was solid. It was, you know, and I saw it out of my peripheral vision. When I looked at it, it went away. So, you know,
So you remember Jane having the portal to the library?
Yes.
Was that in this house or the Hill House? I mean, in the.
Oh, it's in our house. It's in apartment 5. And funny you should ask about that. But one of the people that used to come to the book class here in person was at those classes, and so was Richie Kendall. And we got Richie Kendall to go through the place before he passed, so he got to see it again. And he showed us where it was, and this other man did, and they did it independently, so we know it's the right place.
Oh, cool.
So when you walk into the living room and you're facing the bay windows, it's the left corner right there at the front door.
Okay.
Yeah. I have got, I gotta say, I don't know if it's Seth or Jane or who the heck, but there is just spirit all around me right now, just like saying, yeah, that you got it. Oh my gosh, this has been such an incredible week for spiritual activity. I heard a few voices. I couldn't make out words, but I saw 2 different visions, one of a being and then one of this portal. And they've just been coming day after day after day.
What did the being look like?
Oh God, that's a really weird one. The being looked silver, metallic, very tall and thin, really long arms and fingers. And the hair, like everything was like shiny silver. The hair was like a page boy, except it was just like one sheet of metal. So weird.
Are you sure it was hair, not helmet?
I don't know. I don't know. It was just, it came down and it went just a little curl under right at the shoulder length. Definitely was a male looking being, felt very male. And the facial features were not really features. They were more like molded into whatever I was seeing. And yeah, but I think the 2 things are connected very much.
So it wasn't scary to you?
Oh, no. Nothing. No. No, there is no scary stuff. I've done, no, I don't even believe there is evil.
Ever since I read that in the Seth books, there's no such thing as evil. There's only good and you cutting yourself off from good,
Exactly. Now, I think that there's evil in some hearts of people and they have manufactured or manifested things, but I don't think that, there is evil that was put here, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So I believe that you create your own reality, and if you believe in evil, you will create it.
Correct. Yeah. And I've done shamanic work, and I've had people come to me and say they're possessed and say that they have demons. I've never seen anything like that. And I've been able to remove energies from people. And I just think that they're probably energies that were very beneficial at one time. And as we grow, like maybe you were a kid that was picked on and you had to have this persona of toughness or whatever. And that energy helped you get through your day. But then as you grow as an adult, you don't really need that anymore. You're strong now on your own. Well, that energy is still there and it doesn't know what to do and it still wants to help you. So it kind of gets in the way. So it's not that it's a bad or evil, it's just not good for you anymore. So when we release those energies with love and gratitude for what they did, then it's beautiful.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. I just have never seen anything that was really evil. Never.
What were you getting? A message from the being, or you just saw it and you're like, okay, I'm taking note?
Well, there was sound and it was very mechanical sounding, but I don't know what the words were. So, and I think each thing is it's building to something. So I'm just waiting for the next thing. When I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I actually dreamt about the conference and I'm like, no, I want better dreams. So speaking of the conference, I would like to invite people that are listening to this. So we're helping the California group with this California online conference, and we would like to get videos, like 30 to 60-second commercials on what Seth means to you, right? Go ahead, Jeff, talk a little bit about this.
So we're asking the community to, well, let me start at the beginning. I'm one of the organizers for the California Seth Conference 2021. This year is going to be different. It's going to be all online. It's going to be free. And we're going to have all kinds of surprises. Some will be recorded, some will be live. There will be question and answer sessions. And we're reaching out into the community, especially all of our Sethians, to send us a short testimonial about you and your relationship with Seth, whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent. Just hi, I'm Jeff from the Bay Area. I've been a Seth reader for so long. I wanted to say hello to everybody, and this is what Seth means to me, or this is what I find in Seth, or however you want to do it. It's your creation, and you're going to help us co-create our conference. So you can get in touch with Kate. You can email us at info@californiasethconference.com, or you can visit our Facebook group page at California Seth Conference. And there's so many ways to interact with us and contact us, but please contact us, because we want everyday people, even though you're not everyday people, for the sake of the conversation, everyday folks, so we can all get to know each other and meet each other. And you just might find that your neighbor down the street is a Sethi too. So get in touch with us and stay tuned, because we'll have more for you along the way. Right, Kate?
Absolutely. So Jeannie, when you told your story, and we should tell it together. Oh, awesome. Yeah, you can record it on a phone. Just make sure that you put your phone wide angle, don't put it this way, and you can just email it to us. So the email is
info@californiasethconference.com.
Okay, so you can email it there, or if you're unsure about that, I'm more than willing, Jeff is more than willing, we can Zoom you in and record it that way. So, some people might be more comfortable with that. So either one, just reach out to us and we'll make sure it gets done.
And we really want everybody to be included in this. And we're not talking about just in the United States, we're talking about worldwide. So we have Seth friends in Japan, we have Seth friends in New Zealand, we have Seth friends in Australia, we have Seth friends in China, we have Seth friends all over the world. So please email us your little testimonial. And you know what? If you don't speak English, that's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, Martyn, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Martyn.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you doing?
Okay. I've
Wonderful.
had a very busy work week, so
Oh, okay.
I'm ready for a day off.
Oh, good. Now, Martyn's from South Dakota. Oh, Mickey's coming. Let's get Mickey in. Mickey's from England. So,
Martyn, it must be really cold and snowy in South Dakota, huh?
Yeah, it's actually been a pretty mild winter so far. It could
Yeah,
change any day now, though.
We're having a heat wave here. It's about 68 degrees. It's time for bikinis.
oh.
What color is your bikini?
I've decided to go for a one piece this time.
All right. Hey, we've got some questions over here on Facebook. It's crazy. I couldn't figure out how to get to the comments, but I got them now.
Hi, Mickey. You're on mute.
She's still on mute. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Hi, Mickey.
Hello, how's everybody? I apologize for my lateness. I thought I
Oh,
still
that's
had
okay.
15 minutes to go. My clock was wrong.
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
a party. You can arrive when you want.
That was
Hey,
weird.
Mickey. Mickey, you're from England?
Yeah.
No. I'm
England.
from
No.
America.
Well, she lives
No,
in
but I'm
England.
saying where you are now.
Oh, yeah. I married an Englishman, so
England. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm in the upper part, the north. I'm in West Yorkshire, which is the upper northern part of England. So,
Sounds good.
yeah.
All right. I want to address a couple of the Facebook comments. So we've been talking about manipulating time and learning how to use time. So one of the questions is, what do you mean by learn how to manipulate time, and how do you do that? So it's not that we're manipulating time. It's that it's being conscious of the time is everything is happening at one moment, and then accessing what you're looking for, right? What do you guys have to say about that?
Well, he should have used it so she wasn't late. Just kidding.
Well, next week she'll be on that because we've now had the conversation.
No, I had a clock that was telling me that I still had 15 minutes before time.
So you just need to learn how to manipulate your clock.
I need to learn to put a battery in the damn thing.
No, but I love the idea. Did you guys ever see that movie Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow where her life divides when she misses the subway? And it's actually in England, so she misses the tube. One personality gets on the train and the other misses it, and how the different parallel lives go after that. So it's kind of like that, to manipulate time. Like Kate was saying, you choose your outcome and try to live there because everything is already happening at once. And think of it as layers. So if you're an unhappy, brooding child, you are living on this frequency and you're experiencing the things that happen on this frequency. And if you want to manipulate time, you're really just manipulating your own frequency.
Yeah.
And you're rising to a different parallel universe where everything is happening that way and that level.
Yeah, I agree. You're experiencing a different...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mickey.
It's like you are experiencing a different waveform. The best part is that you can choose which waveform. But sometimes some of us have made certain of those choices already. So we've chosen certain parts of the scene we're going, the set on the stage that we're going to play on. You can manipulate some of the lesser props, but some of the major things you've already agreed to when you sign the contract to come here. And so you choose the frequencies that you can manipulate, whatever's left for you to manipulate while you're here, then you can work within that framework. I shouldn't use the word framework, that'll be confusing. But it's like with the old crystal radio sets where you had to dial the particular frequency of that radio station. And with televisions, it's a certain frequency. They're all on at the same time, but you may not be listening to but one of them. Now, for me personally, I think about it in the context of walking down a path and you see a fork in the road and you pick one path or the other. But you can get to a junction where you might have 6 different choices and you pick one of those paths. If you hate the one you're on, step on the other one and keep going. But there's many you didn't choose. So I try... when I'm having a problem, I try and think of a path that I would rather step onto.
And if I can add to that, if you can raise your frequency, your vibrational frequency, you'll be able to rise above the path and see where all of them lead before you make your choice.
Yes, that's a good point. A lot of it's educating ourselves to the telltale signs of what other paths are. There are a lot of them out there that we don't even recognize at the time. We grow a little bit and suddenly realize, I could have done this and this and this and this, but I chose this. So next time, I'll remember to look at it a different way and make a different choice.
And if I could respond to your Facebook question a little bit, so much of what Seth says is not so much learning as it is remembering.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, we do it naturally. We do it so naturally, just like breathing. You don't think about breathing every time you breathe.
Exactly. And yet there are a lot of realities where you chose not to the next time.
Mm-hmm. But I think once your awareness changes, that you can change your reality stream. Mm-hmm. I think we bump back and forth through realities and probable selves all the time.
I agree.
I call them parallel tracks. We're on our home path, which is a railroad track, and we're going down the track, clickety clack, and all of a sudden we veer off into a track right next to it and go down the road, and then we'll come back again and back off again.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, somebody on Facebook is asking if we've seen the movie Soul. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and I have not seen it yet. I hear it's wonderful, very Seth-like. So,
if we've seen what?
Very Seth-like.
No, the
movie is Soul.
Oh, Soul.
Disney.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I want to see it too. So no spoilers.
No. So
exactly.
The comment is, oh my God, oh no, wait, that wasn't the right comment. Oh my God. The comment was, did you guys see the movie Soul? It talks about this creative flow.
Yes.
So, now, Jeannie, what was the name of that movie?
Sliding Doors, the one with
Sliding Doors. Okay. I never heard of it, so I'm going to look that up.
Fluffy movie, but just that concept you would really like. It's worth watching just for that.
Okay. I heard a little bit of buzz about it, and I can understand why there wasn't more buzz, because it was too close to the truth.
Yeah. Is this a recent movie or an older movie?
A few years ago.
Okay,
so it should be online. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'll look for it. And I want to make it clear that this portal was not at the Seth House. This is in our home. So, and we live only about 5 minutes away from the Seth House, not very far, just outside of the city limits though. So anyway, it's where I am right now. And then Jeannie was talking about the portal where the library was and the city was, and that is at the Seth House. And I have not ever seen it, but maybe you can. Yeah, I have though. We have figured out where the coordinate points were in the house, and Richie Kendall verified them for us. So when the Seth House opens up again to the public, and Jeannie, I hope you come visit us.
I'm coming.
You can feel the vibration in these areas. It's tremendous, and in Rob's art studio. There's a definite vortex feeling in there. So yeah, you know what? I'm getting all that nice. Oh, good job. Keep talking. I call them truth bumps. I got truth bumps going on.
Yeah, I agree. I get them too.
Yeah, I've had them ever since we started talking here, since I started that painting. Yeah. I'm like, somebody's really happy about what's going on.
Oh, I'm glad. I can understand that. Yeah.
I hope it's Jane. I hope everyone's happy about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, when Oshar and I did the very first Jane's birthday, and that was 2 years ago this May 8th, and there were people were waiting for us to open the doors. It was incredible, and among those people were these two sisters. And they had that journal that we showed you. It was it 1 through, 27 or something. It was when they were still on the Ouija board. And I had, and it's a bound manuscript, really. So we have that. They presented it to the Seth House so that it was there. They're like, it needs to come home. They said that both sisters knew Jane because their mother and grandmother used to come to her classes, and they were there, the class that Jim Henson was at. So there were little girls, right? And there's Jim Henson, and they're sitting together in front of the mirror that's on the bathroom door. I'm like, oh my God. So they come to us, they hand us this book. They brought us all of these other books to show us that were hand written in by Jane or Rob or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And they said for the past week, they have both been dreaming about Jane. And they just couldn't figure it out. And then they get up in the morning and they saw us on the news. O'Shar and I had a news spot. And they're like, oh my God, there's someone that's resurrecting the Seth House. And they brought these things to us. And they both said to us that the three of them are so happy that they're coming home again.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've given me chills now.
I know. And I'm crying now again. God darn it.
Oh.
Cheryl will tell you, she's like, Kate's a crybaby. She cries all the time. But I get so emotional when, you know.
I am too.
It was amazing.
I'm a big softie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially about this.
Yeah. And those women have brought us most of the furniture that's in apartment 1A. They brought us a whole living room, a beautiful drop leaf table. Wow. They were all period things from when Jane and Rob would have lived in the place. And they felt that very fitting. So, I mean, they're just, and they have a settee set for us that we want to put it in the art room, maybe, we'll see. So we're very excited about all of this. And the people that have come to us have just been amazing. And for them to have had these dreams and they were so confused because they're like, we haven't thought about this in years and years and years. And apparently the mom passed away and she had the grandmother's things. And when they went through dressers, they found all these books and manuscripts that were given to them by Jane.
Wow.
So now they're in the Seth House. They're in, and not all of them. I mean, they only gave us one. They kept all the rest. But we hold them very dear to us. You know, the one where Seth introduced himself was there. And I love reading that one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this stuff is just all such treasure.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to tell you, Mickey, I finished book 1 of Unknown Reality already.
Oh, wow.
I went through it. I turned on, I'm going to plug Tim Hart on YouTube. It's the best way to learn Seth.
I'll have to do it that way because I keep picking it up, opening it, and I get interrupted.
I had the book open and I read along with Tim. And I read the entire book in 2 days. Now I'm on the second part, but I've been, very distracted lately with visions and strange beings and whatnot. So life is crazy here.
What was Tim's last name, Kate?
Hart. Tim Hart.
Okay.
So on YouTube, he reads all the books. Beautiful.
When you go to his YouTube channel, if you click on playlists, he'll have all the books grouped together from start to finish so you can listen to it without having to try to find all the, all the different ones. It's really good. I love listening to him while I'm reading. It's like doing it with a friend, I also like listening to him before I go to bed.
I like to listen to bed too.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, I have to ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a poster behind you of a child?
No, that's my little pretend boy.
Oh, okay, because you were scaring the living hell out of me because this person was not moving.
I'm actually going to put a Seth face on him.
You were moving, but it wasn't moving, and it looked like it would stop action right in the middle.
Would you rather go to Tahiti?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never been.
Never been to Tahiti?
No, I wish. That's on my bucket list. Bali, Tahiti, Peru.
We should all go together.
Tibet. Yeah.
I've never been to Tibet, but I have been.
Okay, we're in Tahiti now.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, I see. You can manipulate that. Oh my God.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Everybody has that capability, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We were doing it over the summer, and it's funny because you do wink in and out at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is insane.
That's
Okay.
very beautiful.
Wow. My
Audrey
brain
said,
is,
that sounds good to her.
there's all sorts of stuff I'd love to do with that. Ooh. That's part of Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think, well, I don't think you can do animated backgrounds unless you have a subscription. You can definitely change your background. Yeah, no, it's on the main Zoom screen, where it's join the meeting and stuff. The little gear box, just go to backgrounds.
Okay. Ooh. I can't wait.
We found that they were very distracting to use.
That's why I had this on early and I changed it.
Yeah, but I think it was because there was two of us. So as I would move, then she would wink out and whatever. But
yeah.
You really need to be in front of a green screen.
You do.
That is so insane.
See, I got a green screen behind me.
I see.
Is that really what it looks like behind you?
Yes.
The green screen? That's real? Okay.
That's real.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is altering.
I kind of like that one.
Time and space. It's beautiful.
Oh, I'm claustrophobic.
So
there you go. That's better.
We started talking about time because what I have planned for today is visiting the future. And someone on Facebook, I'm not sure, I think it might have been Audrey. No, Miriam. Miriam said she remembers it being 2075. Does anybody on here know if 2075 was the time that Seth said all, where it was going to be over, that the religions had fallen and it was going to be all over by the year 2075? Does that sound reasonable to anybody?
I've heard
Sounds
that.
about right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Anna Marie Madsons from Denmark. Hi, Anne. So I love our Facebook friends. And they're pretty quiet today. Pretty quiet. But we can. So this meditation that I've set up, when I started doing it, I got so excited about what could happen during this meditation that I actually plan to do a little deeper, longer, my part, and then read Seth's part, and then really guide into what 2075 might look like to us, what we see. And I know, and I'm just so excited to hear everybody, whether they're here, you guys on Zoom, but also you Facebook people. And, if people watch it later, even the YouTube people. So please, give us your comments. This is it's a very exciting one for me. I love this stuff. One of my favorite things to do for hypnosis is past life regressions. Mm-hmm. And very few people ask me for a future life progression. But they're absolutely possible. I mean, everything is happening right now. Of course, they're possible. Mm-hmm. So I
do you do any in between life stuff?
I do when I do the Dolores Cannon method of QHHT. Mm-hmm. So that incorporates in between life if the higher self chooses to go there. So yeah. It's just so exciting. And I really just let the higher self lead all the sessions wherever it is. If somebody wanted a past life regression and that higher self just wanted to go to a future self, then I'm not going to stop it. I think it's great.
Wow.
Yeah. And in between lives, I've had some very interesting, moments happen after the point of death. And they've been very healing moments always, for the people. So, yeah.
Wow.
And Dolores Cannon is how I got into hypnosis. I learned her method before becoming a hypnotist. Then I took the hypnotism classes later. So because I wanted to be able to help in other ways. So like stop smoking cessation and that sort of thing. And I do a lot of work here with addictions, whether it be drugs or food or whatever, smoking. But my favorite stuff to do is the past life and the spiritual connection, talking to your higher self. Like that's really where my focus is.
Yeah, my favorite too. Yeah. To study. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. And I just love to hear, how healing they are for people. And, Seth did a lot of talking about people's past lives and what they were and how that's affecting their life now. And the fact that we do bring all that memory in, even though we can't remember it, it's still in our cell memory. So it is all there and it's a part of us. So to be able to have that ability to have it come to the forefront where you can remember it, it's amazing.
I love that.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah. So Miriam said,
Actually,
Miriam says, thanks for saying I said 2075, but I think it was someone else, but she'll take the credit for it.
I just Googled it and it does say by 2075, all of this will already be accomplished.
Oh, great. So now when we do this meditation, you can choose any date you want, but that is the one I'm going to suggest. So just so you know. Now, did you want to say something, Martyn?
Oh, I have a memory of one of my future lives.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah,
do tell.
I do.
Oh,
yeah. It was when I was in the process of moving here. I remembered being in this circular house. It's kind of like a 3 or 4 story house, but it was tubular shaped. And a lot of the houses in the area were all shaped that way. And I'd never seen houses like that. And I was visiting my grandparents in this memory. And I was at their house, their tubular house. And I was visiting from college. I guess I was off from college. So that's my memory anyway. And so I wasn't permanently staying there, and guess who it was? It was Ma and Pa Ingalls, but not their old selves, their future selves.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
Very trippy. So I'm their grandson in a future life is what I'm gathering from that.
I'm so glad they
what I found out. Yeah, what I found out, of course, the Ingalls, they lived right in this area where I'm living now. And what I found out is that my dad and Charles Ingalls were cousins.
Oh,
Wow.
Found that out later. Yeah, so there is a connection there.
Wow.
that is extraordinary.
Yep.
He was a musician too. I just saw a biography on PBS.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love those confirmations. When you know it, you know it. And that's what people need to learn to trust, is that knowing inside them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is anybody ready to do this? What is it? So it's almost 2:00. So we're about halfway in. I like to kind of have some kind of a reference point so I can tell people, I'll go about halfway and you'll skip the meditation. And I did not pre-record this one, so I hope it goes smoothly. I did read it over though. All right. So are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's called Projection in Time. It's from the Early Sessions, book number 6. And it was session 262 on page 192. It was delivered on May 25th, 1966. Now, you guys can go into, in the Seth discussion group, if you click on the tab that says Files, the whole list of these meditations I'm doing, they're all in there. So it's one big PDF and it's very large. but there's a nice index. The only thing that isn't correct in it is everything from the early sessions says it's in book 1, and that is not true. So you have to figure out what book it's in. But they are, so far, they've all been really the early sessions, just the wrong book. Okay, so let's start. Just settle into your seats, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. And take a second deep breath, as deep as you can, all the way down to your belly. And on your third deep breath, I'd like for you to hold it for about 3 seconds. And exhale and relax. And with each breath that you take, allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper. And I'm going to have you relax each part of your body, starting from the top of your head, going all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And as I mentioned, each part, just allow everything to let go, starting with the top of your head, your scalp, and your forehead. Let go of any tension and stress. Your eyebrows, your eyelids. Feel that relaxation going down through your cheeks and your nose. Relax all the muscles around your mouth and lips. Relax your chin and jaw. And allow all those muscles in your face to just relax and let go. Feel that relaxation going down into your neck and shoulders. Get rid of any tension that might be in your shoulder area. It should feel good to do that. Relax your arms all the way down to your hands and fingertips. Just let go. Let go completely. And notice how deep your breathing has become. So much more than just a few moments ago. And as you breathe in deeply and exhale slowly, allow all the muscles in your chest to just relax all the way down to your stomach. Get rid of any tension that might be in your stomach area. Down to your hips. Just let go completely. And your legs relax. Your thighs. Your knees. Relax your calves and your ankles. Feel that relaxation going down into your feet and even your toes. Just relax completely as you drift down deeper into a very relaxed state. Now I would like you to go to your heart space. Just drop your attention to the center of your chest, where all the love, peace, compassion, joy, vitality, happiness all reside. There you will find your safe place to do this work. Notice the comfortable stuffed couches and chairs. Pick one and get comfortable next to the fireplace. Hear the crackling of the fire and just settle in. Listen to my voice as I read Seth's words on projection in time. Let us take an example. You sleep. While asleep, you project yourself into the year 1972. There you see yourself considering various courses of action. For a moment, you are aware of a sense of duality as you look at this older self. You say you should do this or that. Give a definite decision, you see. This may happen in several ways. We will go into this sort of thing more deeply in another session. In any case, this future self of yours heeds what you say. Now, in the actual future, you are the self who, one way or another, you see, hears the voice of his past self, perhaps in a dream or perhaps in a projection made into the past. Before our break, I will leave you with a few questions. Was there something your future self had forgotten? Did the future self request information? And did this request cause the present self, you see, to make an actual and legitimate projection into the future? Now we will take a few minutes to experience this projection in time while we're together and safe. Now, while our eyes are still closed, and after hearing what Seth said, let's imagine projecting ourselves into the future. Let's say 2075, for example, but any year in the future will do. You are aware of a sense of duality as you look at this older self. See the scene where you encounter your older self. Notice all the details of the scene. What are the surroundings like? Are you outside or inside? Notice every detail with your inner vision. Are there any sounds you can hear? Notice every sound with your inner hearing. What is your future self wearing? Is there anything they want to tell you? Is there anything you want to ask them? Ask the question now. You will remember their answer. You now notice they are trying to make a decision. You say you should do this or that. The future self of yours heeds what you say. Now, was there something your future self had forgotten? Did your future self request information from you? Did this request cause the present self to make an actual and legitimate projection into the future? Let's just sit with these questions for a few moments. And now it is time to come back to your physical body, totally refreshed and feeling wonderful in every way. You will remember all conversation between you and your future self when you return to the here and now. So on the count of 3, you will be fully back and ready to resume Seth Talk. 1, you are beginning to emerge, feeling totally relaxed. 2, your mind is clear and alert. Your eyes are starting to open. And 3, eyes wide open, fully awake and feeling fine.
Thanks, Kate.
You're welcome. Anybody want to share?
I saw me in the future. I shrunk. And I had very white, short hair, but we were sort of communicating without words, like telepathically. And I guess I felt like she was in better condition life-wise than I am now, so that's a positive. And she was trying to help me telepathically, like, you need to be more disciplined and get it together, Poos, like that was my experience.
Wow.
Nice. So it was a good feeling place, calm, peaceful, positive.
It was helpful, definitely helpful.
Beautiful. Anyone else?
I can go. Go ahead, Martyn.
Go ahead. I just briefly had like an experience. I don't know, because I don't see why I would have grandkids, but I was surrounded with what seemed like grandkids, just visiting with them. Very pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They could be just, adopted ones.
Yeah, it's hard to say. All kinds of possibilities for that one.
They could be a probable self. You really have grandkids in a different reality bubble.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I can go.
Yeah.
I actually like this. It's all part of the manipulating time stuff, and I do this quite often. Looking back, I can remember it was all about remembering for me, because I look back, I can see a previous self and interact with that self. But looking forward, 2075, I would be 120 years old. Anyway, my future self reminded me that you can picture yourself the way you want to be in the future and see that future self and lock onto that future self. And then the two of you will draw each other to yourselves. It's not that we're going to become and grow into that. It's that when you lock onto that future self, the ideas and dreams that you would like to be, the electromagnetic connection actually draws the both of you together. So you can actually kind of steer your ship down the course of your reality stream if you want to. And then I saw myself connected from my future self to my present self to my past self, all in a kind of a domino, kind of a daisy chain. So it was interesting.
Beautiful. So it's kind of like dropping what you would like to be in that year in framework 2 and allowing that to draw you.
To draw you, pull you to it.
I get it. Yeah.
Or locking onto a future self, let that future self pull you to.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That was a very good point. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, I was really old in this I would be well over 100 years old too. I wasn't even thinking about that. No wonder the kids were like amazed. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
We'd all be about 120.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I would like to remind folks, especially our Facebook folks, and I know, Kate, that you've talked about it a number of times when we're on the time subject, that you can actually go back to a time in your life, a previous time in your life when you were actually in pain and despair, and sit down with your previous self on the couch and put your arm around yourself and comfort yourself and kind of change that. And when you do that, this changes. It's really interesting how that all works. I don't know if you've all done that or not, but it's healing some parts of yourself in the past by going and revisiting yourself.
Yep. Healing the past, the future. It's all the same as healing the now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Or you might ask, if you're going through some difficult times currently, you might ask your future self for a little comfort and guidance, and your future self will come back and sit down on the couch and have tea with you.
Yeah.
Right. If you went into this meditation with a question that you wanted an answer from your higher self, that would be another way to go into it. And that's why I'm glad these are getting recorded so people can use them in different ways as they see fit. And we'll get them up as standalones eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey, how'd you do?
It was rather strange. I don't remember a lot about it because I'm more and more often I zip out. I just zone out once I hear your voice. I'm gone. But then I heard a couple of noises that made me aware. So I came back, and I was aware that I could only see that I was in a darkened place. It wasn't like a bright room or anything, but I was aware of being in another reality, another time. And what I kept getting from the person I saw, I was watching them going through their life. And I was so impressed by how different it was there at that point. And one of the things was that this person kept going. They came into a room where there were other people, like a mother would come into a dining room where your kids are sitting at the table and you're about to, feed them, or you're about to interact with your family. And this person then kind of like taking a menu choice, taking a request. And they walked over to a unit on the wall that had buttons, and they pressed a button to change each person's mood or awareness to whatever they had requested. And by pressing this button, you created a different frequency around them or in them, so that they then experience whatever they had asked for. So that blew my mind.
Wow.
Awesome.
I can't wait for that button.
Yeah. Jeez, Mickey, if you remembered everything, I don't know what the heck we would do. And it's
the one thing I brought back with me was seeing this person going around adjusting everything. They adjusted how they felt by requesting whatever they needed to change what they were feeling.
We should all do that now.
Yeah. Right? One of the kids was sad or upset about something, and she was like, "Okay, give me a minute." And she went and touched a few buttons, and the kid was fine, just playing around.
Is this something that you're going to be able to go to the grocery store and buy, like an air freshener?
You have to get it on Amazon. They're the only ones who have it.
I hear it's available now on Etsy.
Wow.
Mickey, I would like to make a comment. You have this special glow about you today, and I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you.
I see it.
thank you very much. I've been working very hard on some
Have this
adjustments
glow
and
about you today.
meditations and trying to put out a positive vibe. And I thank you for that. That reinforcement really, really helps. Thank you. Interesting. Really interesting.
Well, we actually had some comments from Facebook land. Let's see. One girl wanted to join our Zoom like right in the middle of that. And I'm so sorry, Anne, that I couldn't do that. But for anybody that wants to join our Zoom, please send an email to info@thesethhouse.com before Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this, I'm monitoring it all by myself, so I can't, try to get people in on the fly. So do it by Saturday. I will make sure I send you the links. And in the email, just give me some idea who you are and what Seth means to you. And so I have some idea of, why you want to be on. And we're a little careful about this because we've been hacked in the past, and I'm very reluctant to give out the password and stuff to people that I'm not certain are really Seth good people. So anyway, just saying that. Georgianne Oman, she is a girl that is from right here. She's a girl that used to come to our local Seth group, and she said, love the meditation. Thank you for sharing that with all of us. And Audrey said, I felt I was in college. Dark brown hair and glasses. There was a sad feeling where I got a little emotional. It ended with a big hug. Beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
I love that. Anne said, thanks. Audrey said, I have Jeffrey. I don't exactly know what she was referring to. Penny said, as we were going in, I saw 2 black cows in a blizzard. And let's see, Yoli Walsh is on. She's from the Chicago area. She said, thanks, Jeffrey. I've been working a lot with my future self and would love all insights you may have. So God, you guys connect together. Yoli Walsh and Jeffrey Kiefer. Friend each other. Everybody should do that. Friend each other. Miriam says binaural beat frequencies. And she has a question mark there, so I'm not sure what that was about.
I love those, yeah.
Yeah, Audrey agrees. Elizabeth sent this to Mickey. Matrix Energetics teaches what you spoke
Oh, really?
Matrix Energetics. Elizabeth Benton sent that.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, me too. Beautiful.
I would like to know where they got their training and their information from.
All stems from Seth. We know this.
We know that.
We do. Audrey said she hugged her past and future self. So
oh, that's nice.
That is a big part of what this meditation was about, is taking care of the self. It is taking care of, we asked our higher self questions, but we also help them too. So it's a give and take. And it's just a very cohesive thing to experience our probable us's.
Yeah.
If I can expound on that a little bit, I think this is an opportunity to talk to the Facebook people. A lot of people I know grew up with a lot of trauma and a lot of abuse. And if this has happened in your life, that Seth exercise, it can be really helpful for you to reach back to that child that you were when you were traumatized, maybe when you were locked in the closet, or maybe when you were chained to the bed, and go back and visit that self now and tell yourself that it's okay, it's going to be okay, and offer them your hand and tell them just to look to you, and you'll draw them into the future where it's safe. You can actually go back, and it's helped a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that have had really problems and problematic pasts, and you can try to help heal that a little bit in a very unconventional way, but a very natural way. And I think that the rewards are almost instantaneous. So that's
Yep.
my little thought blurb to the world today.
Thank you, Jeff. That was wonderful. Wonderful. Elizabeth is also replying about matrix energetics. She says Richard Bartlett is maybe who did that. Juanita Marie Franklin said she went straight to the place I see whenever I plan my final getaway. An airy Hawaiian plantation house, still singing and storytelling. Loved the exercise, wish it was longer. Mickey, do you look like a Tahitian? Oh, you do look like a Tahitian.
Thank you. I take that as a great compliment.
With your hair over one shoulder, you are quite lovely inside and out.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Elizabeth also said she read Seth since the 70s. It opened her mind to all things quantum and brought extreme joy to her all her life. Can't wait to revisit this.
Who is this?
Elizabeth Martyn. Yes.
Okay.
And I want to address the length of the meditations. So when I do these privately, I give people lots and lots of time, and I also let them, speak. But when you're in a group like this, I kind of keep it moving a little quicker than I would do if they were personal private sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And even when I record this, I probably won't have a whole lot of just dead space in between, but you can always just you can always push the pause button.
Yeah, but you don't want to stop and interact in a conscious way.
Mm-hmm.
For me, having to do things physically breaks my spell.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just simply allow some time, different to when we were all in a group, but just a little bit more, then the person can move around within it without having to be aware, to come back to this, to do that, and then go back.
Right. Okay. I can allow a little more time. If people don't like dead air, it's okay with me.
I don't care. I love it. I relish it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it's not dead air. You're away and you're moving and you're moving at millions of miles per second through the universe.
It should
through other time, Now, when I did the quantum jumping with Bert Goldman, that was actually one of my pet peeves is like, well, I'm never done in time. He says that you have plenty of time, but I'm like, it can go on and on and on. So I do get that, but I also understand why he didn't, leave more time. I get both sides. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you for the feedback. I will give more time.
Because I love that I'm often gone. I do a lot of meditating myself, and for decades I have done myself, because I seldom hear someone that my soul is safe with. And so when I heard you, when I went with you the first few times, I was very impressed with the fact that I could just go away. I felt safe. I was interested in safe, and off I went. So I was very grateful for that feeling. It makes a big difference. When you find something that works, when you find that rare person who you can allow to lead you, it's a big gift. It's a very big gift. So when you're doing the meditations, I lose control. I give it up gladly and I go off. I feel safe enough to just go. I'm not trying to monitor every word. I trust that my soul is listening to what you're telling it to do. So I don't have to listen to see what it's hearing. I just go. And I only become aware again at the point where you've told the soul that I should come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Same way here. Yeah, I went completely unconscious this time also.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to.
No, it just You don't know you have until you realize you've come back.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, where did I just come back from? And you start gathering your memories of where you went, whatever's available. But a lot of it was only available to me on the trip. I may not even consciously know what every little thing was that I saw or did until later. Sometimes the memories of what I saw pop up hours and days later.
Yes.
In little vignettes, but I am so grateful for the opportunity on Sunday evenings to safely be led away into the universe. And off I go. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, it is great.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think I was actually kind of embarrassed the first couple times it happened because it was like I felt kind of like I was being rude. How dare I be so unconscious of what was going on?
I was tickled because I so often can't reach that point. When someone's leading me in a meditation, I have to be very, very comfortable with the sound of their voice and the resonance of their intent. What you're feeling from them. And trust me, folks, if you are not on point with your intentions, we can feel it. Our higher selves will snatch us in the collar and say, don't go with them. Get back here.
That's great. Thank you, everybody. I love doing these. I love preparing them. And the feedback is wonderful.
We can tell that you love doing it because we love what you're doing.
Well, let me tell you, I was so prepared, and I just now put the record button on. I never pushed record on this. So we've missed the first hour and a half of Seth Talk. And maybe Jeff, we're the techie people. It is live on Facebook, but I don't know how to get it off Facebook to put it like on YouTube.
I think I might be able to help you with that.
After hours. After hours. Okay. All
right. I would suggest that you're recording your Zoom meeting, record it locally.
Well, I always record it locally, but I forgot. I just turned it on. I always record it locally. And as Mickey was speaking, and I'm like, it's not recording.
For whatever reason.
I know, but it is on Facebook, and I don't ever take them off Facebook, so they are all there, and we can revisit them. But that doesn't allow me to put them on our website or whatever. And this has been a wonderful conversation of time that I forgot the timing.
But just so that you do have a record of it, even if it's not one whose quality is what you want to put on on YouTube, but just so you actually do have a copy, you could play it on Facebook full screen and sit there with your cell phone and record it.
Well, I have
just aim it at the screen and record it.
I'm a Mac user, so I can record my screen from QuickTime.
Right.
Or I could use QuickTime to record Facebook. So yes, I can do something like that. But if Jeannie can help me get it off Facebook, we'll work on it.
Yeah. I would imagine there's a browser widget that will allow you to download Facebook videos.
Probably. I just have never had to do that. Yeah.
That's good. And it's interesting that it would be this particular meditation, because this is one of the best of all of them. They just get better and better and better.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I will definitely record this one, and I will make all the pauses much longer.
Okay. The sequence of them over time has been very interesting, and we're just going further and deeper and, getting more out of them, and it's pulling us along a path
Yes, but I'm doing them all in order that someone else,
Mhm.
I don't know who put this book together, but I'm just going in order with someone else's idea. And 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 it's just exciting, and I love
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's the exercises that are out of the spiral one that I have, and if it is, that's an old thing that got passed around the Seth community 15 years ago or so. Yeah, before it was even online, we were kind of all like copying them and making little books out of them and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the one you showed me. You held it up one day, so it does look the same. And we printed it. It's the printed version is over at Apartment 5, but I have the PDF and it's up there for people, so it's invaluable. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of our Seth forefathers or predecessors put a lot of work into the Seth and the Seth material that they were reading and stuff before the age of the internet and before all that, back when they had fax machines and they had to communicate that way.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad it's all been saved in one form or another.
Yeah, it is good. And then there are so many people out there now doing companion books to this is where I'm going to take this further. And there's been a lot of comment about that. And I don't know what these books are going to be like, but there's several that are going to be published this year by various people. So I'm trying to hook up with them to find out, where they're going to be, how you get them published, and let's get them at the Seth House so people could start reading them and, taking Seth's word further in everyday life. Like that's why this group is so amazing, because it's everyday real Seth life living.
Yeah, maybe we can get some of them during to the convention.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Well, I had found 3 books and was buying them, and I kept running into problems with them recognizing my card. And they kept saying, "Oh, you're typing it in wrong." And I thought, well, that's not possible because I'm not typing it. It just, how you have a card in memory that it just automatically you click it. And so whatever they were doing wasn't making any sense. And while we're discussing it, then they said, "Oh, and by the way, another one of the books you were interested in is now available." So I added that to the basket and I said, "I'll try again." So that was the 3rd attempt and it just won't recognize. So I don't know what to do because I had found 4 different of the missing early sessions that I wanted to, to get.
And ours just arrived. Ours just arrived from Rick's Deck, so we do have them all. And I've had trouble with thrift books too.
Yes.
But what I found is they're generally on Amazon as well, or eBay. And then, because I've bought them from both places, not realizing it was the same book.
Right. I had previously gotten from them through Amazon.
Yes.
But then they had some kind of problem with that too, where I ended up having to negate the sale, So this is the second time that I've had trouble.
One of the things I found to make life really easy with purchasing is I just use PayPal now. So
yeah, I have PayPal.
Everybody seems to, accept that, and then I don't have to use credit card numbers at all.
But I kept feeling nudged toward PayPal, overly nudged toward it. A lot of sites really want to find ways to force you to use that instead of your card. And so I ended up at the bottom of my complaint saying, and by the way, I didn't want to use PayPal.
Okay.
But I do have it, and I had stopped. It's been over a year now since I've used it, but I know. I have the one over here, and I have the one over there. So it looks like I'll have to go that way if I use them. Now, someone on one of the Seth sites mentioned a place somewhere in Washington, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So I have to find out. Okay, I have to find out what the name of that store is so that I can see.
I think they did post it. I think I saw it earlier this morning that they put the name. Oklahoma, Washington, or something.
Yes, that's right.
Recall? Yeah.
So I'll have to go back to that conversation and see what else was posted. But somehow, when I'm supposed to have them, I'll have them. I just put it that way.
If you just want to come here, we'll get the books for you.
Okay. All right. I'll be there tomorrow by noon.
There is no time or space. We're all good.
Right.
It might
Exactly.
just be Seth saying, "You don't need this. You got this already. You know all this."
You know, that had crossed my mind. I said, I'm not going to obsess over it. And at whatever point I'm supposed to have those, if I'm supposed to have those, then I will. You know?
And since we're on the topic of time, if you really put your mind to it, or maybe if you didn't put your mind to it, you could get to the Seth House yesterday.
Yes. Exactly. I love it.
That is great. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what now? We've got 25 more minutes. Do we want to talk about...
We could line dance.
We could do anything. But I'm thinking the convention, right? The online convention. We're very excited about planning. And again, since this isn't, well, it's being recorded now, so let's say we're looking for testimonials from Seth readers, Seth scholars, we'll call it.
Here.
What
have some blueberries.
Blueberries. Beautiful. Some testimonials as to what Seth means to you, how he came into your life, whatever you want to say. And I'm just short snippets, 30 to 60 seconds, little Seth commercials. Yeah. And, do it on your phone, do it, wide angle. And you can email it to info@
CaliforniaSethConference.com.
CaliforniaSethConference.com.
Great.
You can send it to the Seth House too. I'm helping Jeff put all this together. And if you're uncertain as to doing your own video, contact either Jeff or I, and we'll just Zoom you in and we'll do the recording. You may have to remind me to push the record button, but we'll do the recording. Are you sure you want me to be your backup techie?
You're not my backup techie, you're my co-techie.
So there.
Oh, gosh. Crazy.
We're in
Charlie.
We're in preliminary development for our own holodeck.
Yeah.
We're going to make little programs that we just, like they do on Star Trek. Because I think our realities are a lot like holodecks anyways.
Speaking of which, has anybody seen the Pope hologram?
The what?
Somebody has a recording of the Pope in his window there at the Vatican.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Really?
Isn't that awesome? He just disappears like on Bewitched, in the thin air.
Okay.
I saw that, yeah.
So they're saying it's a hologram. And it does look
He
like
was standing at his balcony, where he does over the square, but it was a holographic image of him.
Was
he just kind of poofed?
Was it solid looking or was it
very solid?
Yeah.
Solid. Okay.
Kind of had a video echo behind it that you would see with a hologram. Dark outline behind. That was what was curious about it that made them think that it was a hologram. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard that some scientists are actually in real time now working on teleportation and that they've had some small successes. So that's going to be interesting as it progresses. Oh, here we go.
I want to know what a small success is in teleporting.
Well, quite literally, they've done it on a quantum level. They've been able to manipulate molecularly, but
so cool.
Not a whole big person and blah, blah, blah. But it seems that that's where they've started.
With atoms.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's going to be very interesting.
Well, I would think that a small success would be able to teleport you without your arm coming out your ear.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of The Fly.
Yeah.
Remember the movie The Fly?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Oh, that was so gross. The Jeff
Yes, it
Goldblum one.
was. Brundle. I remember that.
Yeah.
Help me.
Mm.
Help me.
Oh, you would bring that up. And I also heard that Animaniacs is coming back. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. And even Pinky and the Brain. That's the little hippie being excited.
Oh.
Does Facebook have any questions?
No, somebody posted the wrong conference address. So I just reposted it below. Yeah, because I clicked on it and it wanted us to buy the domain. So I did post the correct one. It's CaliforniaSethConference.com. I think they put spaces in there, so it I don't know, it just didn't wrong. So, but it's on there now.
Yes, I've seen it.
You can visit on us on our Facebook group page at Facebook California Seth Conference.
All right, let me find that. I'll do that too.
And we have a YouTube channel. It just happened. It just got created, and it's waiting for its first post, which will be soon.
Whoever sends in the first one, woo!
Yeah, that would be a good idea. We'll wait for the first testimonial to come in. So if you want to be first, send it in. Doesn't have to be long, just has to be from the heart.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Let me get the Facebook post in here. Paste. Oops. Wrong computer screen. Oh my God.
So while Kate's doing her moderating stuff, I would like to let you know that down the road here during our Seth talk, we're going to be trying out some of our software that we're going to be using for our conference. So from time to time, we'll be live broadcasting on other YouTube, onto our YouTube channel and to our Facebook group with
that's a good idea.
In the Seth House.
Excellent idea.
So if you were wondering how the Seth conference is going to be, we are going to be using Zoom as our stage. So our hosts and our guests will be on Zoom. Public will watch the conference and participate in the conference. It'll be live cast to our Facebook group, hopefully to this Facebook group and to YouTube. And then we'll have probably 2 chat streams available that you can ask questions of the speakers. And although our format is very flexible, we're envisioning that most speakers will submit a video presentation and then be available live for questions and answers after that.
Yeah. Excellent. It's very exciting.
And then Kate and I are on the I-Team Techie teams, and then we have 4 or 5 other people, including Oshara, who are on the speakers and scheduling group that does all that. So it should be interesting.
Wow.
What you name the YouTube channel? California
Seth Conference.
That's all? It is not coming up. So you're going to have to send me the link so I can get it out to people. What's coming up is Linda Dahl's presentation. I see. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if it's Paul, maybe. There's highlights of the 2013 conference on here, the 2015 conference, but I'm not finding anything new.
We don't have any content.
Well, but I should be able to find the page.
I don't know. Let me find it.
Well, just send it to me in a link and I'll put it in this or put it in the Facebook so that everybody has it.
Okay.
And please, everybody subscribe. So subscribe to the Seth House YouTube channel and the California Seth Conference channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'll do? I'll do that more when we have content in the channel, because right now we're still building it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Miriam said, let's see. Loved Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. Of course, we've already had our own real life version of the Brain in I don't know what WH in the WH and Sidekick Rudy. Oh, I get it. Oh my God, I get it now. Okay, all right.
What are we going to do today, Pinky? You're going to take over the world.
Miriam said, did we ever find out if Abraham Hicks might submit a video to the conference? Not yet. But these are all thoughts that we have, and we're working on it. Yeah.
I just bought the whole series of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh my God.
I love that one.
That takes me back. Oh,
yeah.
God. Wow.
Now, Jeff, is there going to be like a sign up for this, or is it just going to be everybody participates on
sign
YouTube,
up for what?
Facebook, the conference?
It's open to the public. You just come and
here and there
and watch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great.
If you have questions, and you'll be able to ask questions in the chat. Other than that, you can come and go as you please.
Yeah.
So there'll be live Q&A with some of the presenters, but there won't be place for live voice. So it'll be Jeff or I or other moderators that, just like I do here, I read the comments from Facebook, but we'll be monitoring YouTube and Facebook.
And then you'll also be offered all the information of the speaker and where to find them on social media. So if there's an interesting conversation that you really want to have, you can hop over to their social media pages and continue in-depth conversations with, I'm guessing people will be open to that. Ideally, what our concept for the conference this year, the Linda Dahl one that you were mentioning, that was actually from our first conference, which Oshara helped put together, our very first California Seth conference. So since we've been so isolated and away from each other doing the COVID thing, it's a good time for the Seth community worldwide to come together again, say hello to each other, kind of say what's going on, try to reintroduce the Seth-based businesses back into the community, the Seth community, to try to jumpstart everything and let everybody know where everybody is, and just kind of bring us all together and try to make this an inclusive experience for the Seth community worldwide. There's a lot of Seth businesses. There's a lot of healing arts. There's a lot of things that have stemmed from Seth teachings, and we're all together in one place, and we can all share resources and get to know each other and get to find each other online again. It's time to come out wherever you are.
Yeah. And I really like when I go through these, and if there's people on that I'm not friends with, I do reach out to friend people that are, that enjoy speaking about the things that I enjoy speaking about. So, be bold and friend people, that's amazing. And for anybody that's out there listening that runs groups, whether they be in-person groups or online groups or whatever they are, reach out to us too, so that we can get your input and get your information out there. I mean, this could be almost one-stop shopping to find Sethies. And it's amazing. Maybe we can even put something together that shows community, like here in America and in Europe and, so on and so forth.
Kate, that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And
really
then
glad you brought that up.
Each other. And, so when you sign on, just say, hey, I'm Kate from New York, or, hey, I'm Jeffrey from California. And then, we have a starting point, even though, New York is, I don't know, 5-hour distance. California is even further, to travel with, but, it's a lot closer than, New Zealand. But with the internet, you know what? Here we are. We're in at least 1, 2, 3, 4 time zones right now. Right? Jeannie and I are in the same time zone. That's it. Everybody else is in a different one. Yet here we are speaking about time all together.
Exactly.
At the same time in all different times.
We're living out what was being explained.
Yeah. Right there, that tells you that it's not real. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I would like to expound on what Kate was just talking about. For all of our Sethi friends that run Sethi groups and Sethi conventions throughout the world, I have been with the convention since its beginning. We've had contact with you, most of you, many times over the years. Some of us are still here. Some of us have transitioned. Please reach out to us so we can reconnect with all of our friends and our fellow conventions and our fellow groups. This is separate from the testimonials, the personal testimonials, which we talked about earlier, which we really, really want. And the first person to send one in is going to be our first post on our YouTube channel. But this is for our Seth groups worldwide and Seth conventions worldwide. Please reach out to us and reconnect with us so we have all your contact information. We really, really want to try to keep this all together and have some sort of a resource so we can all contact each other and stay in touch. Colorado Seth Conference, you've always been our friend. Reach out to us. We can be part of this conference too. Just send a little word. We would like to get all the groups throughout the world just to send in a little video, a little check-in video. It's like, here we are, we're from down under, we're doing good, that type of thing. So reach out to us, info@californiasethconference.com, our Facebook group page. You can contact Kate or you can contact me directly. Thank you.
Good job.
I don't know if anybody, since we're on the subject of time, Tom, who channeled a while back, he's the other organizer. When this all came about in our Seth group, and I said, we should have a Seth conference. I think we should, because I've been seeing it on the horizon. They said, okay, Gary, it's yours, go for it. Tom was having the same visions. So the Seth conference is already going on.
Yeah.
It's really, really going on because we see it and we keep getting closer to it. It's just that we haven't caught up to it yet.
Yeah.
So I hope that you all can visualize that same thing in the future, a really good conference going on and us all coming together. And by doing that, we will draw it to us or us to them, or however you want to look at it.
And again, the dates are March 26th, 27th, and 28th. So.
All online and all free.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Whether you have access to, a lot of people don't have Facebook access. It'll have YouTube access. Everybody can have access to that. So,
and if you have a website, if you have a website and you can stream videos on your web, you can stream YouTube videos on your website, or we're going to be live streaming on YouTube too. So there's no reason why you can't stream the conference too on your website.
Ooh, nice. Contact Jeff on that one.
Well, it's just like streaming it. It will be. You just, put, I guess, the URL in and hit go live on your website. It should be the same.
You go to the share and do the embed and put it in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
It's exciting news to hear that it's coming.
Well, we've got just a few minutes left, and because this didn't get recorded, I want to say something about Jeannie. Jeannie Fry is the reason that prompted me to say, let's make this a real company. Let's do this so that nobody ever has to feel unwanted or not welcome to the Seth House, to Seth's.
Wow.
And I didn't know it was her. And she came on today and I told her, I said, there was a girl from Brooklyn. And she goes, it was me.
You're from Brooklyn?
Yes, I'm living in Brooklyn, and
What part?
I live in Park Slope. Do you know Brooklyn?
Yeah, I lived in Park Slope.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
Preston
wow.
Street.
I lived on Adelphi Street, right near between Myrtle and whatever, Willoughby.
Where did you meet your husband?
Wow.
Oh, we met online in a astrology chat room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a long story.
It's
I manifested it. I literally wrote it down, what I wanted,
Uh-huh.
exact description, and he was absolutely everything on a 12-page list.
A 12-page list.
Not typewriter
Wow.
size page, but I had a little book that you jot notes in,
Uh-huh.
and I had 12 of those pages with all the things I wanted him to be. And it was every one of them. Everything I wrote
I know
down.
there's a big Seth group in Scotland because I saw them on Facebook. Do you belong to that group?
No, I don't. I didn't even know about it.
They're close to you, I guess.
That's
But
gonna be interesting.
I had been reading the Seth book since 1983, and my boyfriend is a private investigator, and he had a job up, not really even close to Elmira. It was binging him.
That's just an hour away. Not
So
even an hour, 45 minutes.
I looked at the map and I said, I've always wanted to see the Seth House. Could you please, if I come with you on your job, out there? And it was so nice of him. He drove me there and we found the house. And there's photos of the house in the Seth book. So it wasn't that hard to find that house.
Right.
This is the ugliest house in Elmira.
I didn't think it was ugly.
Only
I'm so
figuratively
glad.
speaking.
It's lovable.
It's a work in process.
But there
Yeah.
was, we wanted to also find the Hill House. So there was a man standing on the front porch of the Seth House, and we asked him, do you know Jane Roberts? And we're looking for her other house. And he was living there and never heard of Jane Roberts. So
Wow.
That's incredible.
we felt like we were sketching him out, approaching his house. And
The
saying,
people that lived there then were either didn't know anything about her or were afraid of her.
Mm.
But
Wow.
I saw Jeannie's post, and she did it from the corner of Dr. Dozak's, that parking lot, which was our apartment, was that corner apartment, and then Jane's apartment's right above it. And that's what I saw. And when I saw that she was, a little bit scared by this guy, and I'm like, this should never happen again. And that was the day that we bought the website. And we consider that our birthday for the summer. Even though legally it's not, that was the day that we put it into that manifestation. We dropped it into framework 2.
yeah.
But you were a key part in that. I mean, if I didn't see that, maybe I wouldn't have had that thought. And I Shara always felt that it should be open and it should be done. So this was a dream she's always had. And I was like, we can make this legal. And here we go. This is where we are. So it's amazing. And I am so glad that I finally found you.
Yeah, I got my paint chip.
Me too.
Wow.
And I got my You Create Your Own Reality card that I set up on the bookcase so I see it as soon as I come out of the bedroom.
Rites of passage.
Maybe some new goodies will be coming out soon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've got letters ready to go out for the 2020 tax season, and in those, and we're working on. I shouldn't even show you this because it's not very nice yet, but I'm working on the little booklet that we're doing. So this is like with all my writing on it. The back. I like the back. I put the books in there. So I'm still working on the cover. I don't think this is the real cover. I think I'm gonna do. I think that the leaf portal is going to end up on the cover. I think.
Oh, the ivy.
It might happen. Yeah. So anyway, it's an amazing journey, and how we really are so connected, and how, one little visit standing out front prompted all of this to happen.
Well, it's a whole lot of cogs falling into place.
Yes.
I mean, it was the idea whose time had come.
Yeah. And Oshara was like, I have always felt this should happen. Always wanted it to happen. And that girl, when she moved into apartment 1A, it was the filthiest apartment in the whole building. The woman that lived there had like tinfoil on the windows, and it was just yucky. And she worked for 3 months cleaning it. Like, she couldn't even live at the apartment in the beginning. She would come in with rubber gloves on and long pants and just clean and scrub and clean. It took her almost a month before she could actually move in. And then the landlord, he helped her, like he pulled up carpeting, and the two of them worked together. So we've got a really good relationship with the landlord. He is a friend, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So yeah. And when we got into apartment 5, the story is so cute how we acquired apartment 5. The boys that were living there said it was a father and son, and they said they would never leave. We love this place. La, 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 la. Well, they created bed bugs. And it infested most of the building, and it was horrific. And they ended up moving out, and we told Buddy, we want that apartment ASAP. And so for 1 month, he just shut it up, and he just exterminated it. and then Oshar and I started renovating, cleaning. We tore some walls down that were put up as partitions, and we have all this video, but her and I don't have the ability to put it all together. So we need somebody that can help us. Now that I've learned about this service, this bucket service, I think maybe this actually could work. And I can get some help putting these videos so people could see where it started. I took videos of Oshara the first day we had the keys. It was August 5th. I'll never forget the day. She opens up the door, and it was still, the partition was there. It was the ugly blue color, and, we hadn't done anything. And she just did a walk through the whole place, and it's just beautiful, and it's sitting on our computer. Nobody has seen it, and because first of all, it's like 2 hours long, so we need to have somebody that knows how to shorten it, but keep the best of the best, And, we have so much to work with that we're overwhelmed. But someday it's really all going to come together, and I can feel it happening sooner rather than later. Yeah. And she is just awesome at describing the building and what everything is, and her sense of humor and her knowledge of everything. I mean, she is the perfect curator for this place. Yeah.
You guys are both very organized.
Well, I am definitely
diligent.
Financial thought process, but both of us come from a desktop publishing background. So we're both very good at that, but she is an excellent, wonderful writer. I love to do the artwork. So when you see like our newsletters go out, pretty much Oshar does all the writing and I do all the artwork, but she's got these ideas that come through, but her presence on video is amazing. There is no bigger energy than my Oshara. I just love her pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kate, I can help you with those issues you were having around the videos.
Okay, well,
get it all taken care of.
Once like right now they're on hard drives or thumb drives. So once we have a place where we could put them, where we could access them, I think I probably, thank you for the help. Yeah.
I've been teaching myself how to edit video too on iMovie.
Okay. What are you using?
iMovie.
I use Filmora.
Filmora.
I've been using iMovie. What is Filmora?
I don't have a Mac. Filmora is a video editing program.
So I'm trying to learn DaVinci Resolve, and it's hard.
I used to make little 15, 20-second commercials for the movie theaters here for our community bingo games. So I now had to be in HD and stuff. So yeah, I got Filmora. I like it. It's really got a lot of stuff that goes with it. It's not expensive and it's really easy.
Cool.
I found the free ones to not be very helpful. They're too complicated and they're not as polished as the commercial versions.
So the DaVinci Resolve is a commercial version, but they have a free version that is absolutely full featured. Like I cannot find a feature that isn't available, but it's not intuitive for the way I work. Like I really think I should probably get the Adobe because that's what I love. I love the Adobe Creative Suite. So I probably should get their